Hello and welcome to the program. To live a long, healthy and happy life is a goal we all share, but just how do you make it to 100 and beyond? Scientists around the world are now embarking on a race to discover the secrets of longevity by mapping the genome of 100 people aged over 100. Up to 15 Australian centenarians are to be nominated for the groundbreaking research, including the remarkable Dorothy DeLow, who's still playing table tennis at 101. Natasha Johnson reports.
Sydney's St George and Sutherland Table Tennis Club welcomes competitors of all ages and abilities. But who'd have thought you'd find a player still hitting it up at 101? Dorothy DeLow may be hard of hearing and a little unsteady on her feet, but with doubles partner Gillian Hutchison, a spring chicken at 78, she continues to serve up winning shots against younger, more agile players, although tonight youth ultimately conquered experience.
Mostly I love the company because I've been playing with these people so long, they're all my friends.
She spent her old age travelling the globe, competing in 10 veterans' games, collecting a lounge room full of trophies and a biscuit tin full of medals, and winning the World Championships when she was 82.
It meant a lot, because I beat a pommy lady. With a sharp one down that guy.
Her ping-pong prowess has made international headlines, and at 97 the Guinness Book of Records recognised her as the world's oldest table tennis player.
Feels pretty good.
Has it gone to your head?
Yes.
Now Dorothy DeLow has captured the attention of researchers seeking to unlock the secrets of extreme old age.
Dorothy, have you ever had a stroke?
No.
Have you ever had a heart attack?
No.
How about diabetes?
No.
Dr Charlene Leverton from the University of New South Wales heads the Sydney Centenarian Study. There are more than 3,000 centenarians in Australia, and that number is expected to swell to 50,000 by 2050. Contrary to what you might expect, Dr Leverton says most of those she's studying are like Dorothy DeLow, physically well and mentally sharp.
Exceptional longevity seems to be in some way associated, we think, to a variation in genes that might slow down the ageing process as well as reduce the risk for age-related disease.
At Genetic Repositories Australia, the centenarian's DNA is put under the microscope. Dr Leverton will select the samples of up to 15 of them to enter an international competition run by the American-based non-profit X Prize Foundation to map the genomes of 100 people aged over 100. $10 million is up for grabs for the laboratory, which can map the genomes in 30 days beginning next January at a cost of $1,000 to hopefully usher in an era of personalised preventative medicine whereby any patient can get their individual genome mapped quickly and cheaply.
So we're really trying through this X Prize to push the frontiers of science and technology.
Dorothy DeLow is donating her DNA to this scientific quest, but sees little mystery in a healthy old age, just good luck and good genes. Both her parents lived relatively long lives for the times. She raised 2 children and had a wide social network, didn't smoke or drink, ate simply, exercised frequently, and has maintained an optimistic outlook despite heartbreaks like losing her husband Albert and outliving her daughter Joan, who died of cancer at 49.
I accept what's dished out to me. It's not always favourable, but everything's fine. Lots of people worse off than me. Okay.
Dorothy DeLow still lives independently and gave up driving reluctantly a year ago. While she's finally retired from international competition, she keeps playing table tennis locally 3 times a week and hopes to serve it up as long as she can.
How much longer will you keep going?
Oh, that all depends on fate. Got a million of it.
Doctors and security experts have raised serious concerns about the federal government's e-health record system to be rolled out in July. They say the safety of electronic health records can't be guaranteed and personal information will be vulnerable to hackers. The idea behind electronic health records is that patients can access their own medical information, making it available to doctors when they need to. But some medical and computer experts are worried about the security of the new system the federal government's introducing.
Until we get the security issues resolved satisfactorily, I would suggest to all Australians that you simply do not opt into this system.
Patients will be able to access sensitive medical information from home computers, smartphones and even public computers. Internet security experts say hackers will be able to access confidential medical records because it'll be up to patients to make sure their information remains secure.
And what will end up is that these electronic health records will be stolen and used for identity theft.
They estimate as many as 4 million personal computers are improperly accessed by hackers every year. But those involved with developing the system insist it's secure.
There's multiple points of defence. One is the individual taking responsibility for their own information as well. But in order to get onto the system, they need to be able to have a log-on, which again brings some more security.
In an article in the Medical Journal of Australia, doctors outlined potential problems that might occur.
A medication name might get swapped, a dose for a drug might get changed, or your allergy might not appear, for example.
We need to manage these errors now, rather than rush to a July 1 deadline and then manage these errors post-implementation.
The National eHealth Transition Authority says it will identify problems and recommend ways to address any potential risks. A new report shows the number of dialysis patients signing up to wait for a new kidney has plummeted in Australia. Just 10% of patients are on the waiting list, with the worst results in the Northern Territory. Leading transplant surgeons have called for an urgent national inquiry. Here's Phoebe Stewart.
Hundreds of people under the age of 55 are on dialysis in the Northern Territory. Many are Indigenous. Country music star Jimmy Little died aged 75 after 2 years of dialysis and a kidney transplant. He used his fame to tackle the Aboriginal death rate from kidney disease. A kidney transplant is cheaper than dialysis and gives patients a better chance of long-term survival. But a new report shows thousands of patients who need dialysis to stay alive aren't on the transplant list. The study says only 10% of all dialysis patients are on the waiting list. Just 36% are listed in New South Wales compared to 50% in the UK. Surgeons are alarmed at the Northern Territory figure, with less than 1% of patients listed for a life-saving transplant.
I would expect that I should have the same chances of being transplanted if I lived in the Northern Territory or New South Wales or Victoria or anywhere else.
So I think in 2009 there were 3 transplants done in the Territory. I'm pleased to say that we've quadrupled that since then, and we're hoping that we will continue to expand the number of transplants.
With the average wait for a new organ about 7 years, surgeons say a national independent inquiry is urgently needed.
There's some urgency. This has been falling for 5 years, and there's no obvious reason that I can see of other than the frustration of the long wait that many people see.
A call to give all Australians an equal chance for a new lease on life. Phoebe Stewart, ABC News, Darwin.
For many of us, daily headaches are a part of life. Now doctors are turning to a non-drug treatment to help those who can't get relief from painkillers. Headaches are a common medical complaint, but for many people, painkillers don't work. In fact, they can make the problem worse.
There are quite a few with a condition called chronic tension type headache that don't get very good results with any drug treatment. So we're trying a completely new approach using an electrical treatment to see whether this may help those patients.
Nicole Stamachi has suffered with headaches for many years.
It sort of peaked quite badly in December 2010, where I didn't have a break from a headache. It was just a constant headache that didn't ever stop.
Pain medication didn't help, so she volunteered to trial a new electrical device. She had the new stimulation treatment once a day for 2 weeks.
The actual treatment itself was almost meditative, because you have to sit very still and not move, not do anything, and just try not to fall asleep, really.
In chronic headaches, researchers believe that regions of the brain responsible for pain signalling become overactive.
By using this treatment device, we may be able to reset these overactive regions of the brain.
A similar approach has worked for other brain conditions such as depression.
Although it's early days for trials with this device, the initial results from those trials are very encouraging.
It also fits in with what we think is happening in the headache, that there are changes occurring with chronic pain, that this kind of stimulation may be able to reverse and undo the programming.
They're also trialling a new medication which might help those patients where painkillers have stopped working. Low oxygen levels during pregnancy could be responsible for birth defects affecting the spine and heart. Australian researchers say it's the first time that nature and nurture have been shown to combine to cause the abnormalities.
1 in every 1,000 Australian babies is born with spine-twisting scoliosis, facing years of metal braces and surgery. But the condition may be preventable. Researchers at the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute have shown it's not caused solely by a gene mutation. The trigger can be a brief short supply of oxygen while the baby is developing.
We're able to think more about pregnancy being a combination of what's innate in the developing embryo, their own genetic makeup, versus what we do as women.
The key to preventing scoliosis could be as simple as avoiding things that can impact on the oxygen supply, such as high altitude, smoking and some prescription and recreational drugs.
Maybe we can come up with a dietary supplement that will protect embryos against an exposure to hypoxia, and they can be taken before a woman considers pregnancy.
Having discovered the link between genetics and the environment, researchers say they may have the key to preventing more common abnormalities, particularly in the heart, kidneys, brain and face.
I think it's quite likely that we'll find that other forms of congenital malformations may also share a similar mechanism. So this is something that could have quite a lot of importance for families in the future.
The Victor Chang team has already begun applying the discovery to congenital heart defects, which affect around 1 in every 100 Australian babies.
And that's all for the Health Quarter. If you have a story, idea or comment, find us on Facebook and click like to be kept up to date. And I'll see you next time.